So this is Desensitizing with copper. This is week 4, and right here we have a drop cloth used for painting, and I've just wrapped part of it around the horn and draped the rest of it around his hindquarters. You can see it brushing his hind legs as he walks. Desensitizing is just making your horse less spooky, I would say, and more resilient towards scary objects. And he's been very good about adjusting very quickly to new things. When I introduce him to this drop cloth, usually before I work with him, I will walk up to him with it and allow him to smell it, just so he gets used to the smell. Here, I asked him into a trot. Now it's kind of coming under his legs. It's whipping in the wind a little bit. He's stepping on it. So these are all good things when monitored. Now I'm going to adjust it because, as you could tell, he was stepping on it with his hind legs. And if you were to step on it too hard, I would be worried that it would pull on the saddle horn, and that friction would scare him a good bit. And in desensitizing, you don't really want to scare the horse. You don't want them to have an explosive reaction. We want them to have good interactions with scary things and introduce them slowly. Here he goes to trot again. So here he explodes a little bit. That's that feeling of it on his hind legs, and he gets a little startled. Now, even though he did that, I didn't urge him forward any. I kind of just kept his pace and watched him, and I was just trying to make sure that nothing truly scary did happen. Now here, he's gotten it off his hind legs and he stopped, but I told him that, hey, I didn't want you to quite stop just yet. Walk a little longer, and then I'm just going to ask him to stop on my accord and not his. Because when scary things happen, we want to be the ones that they're looking to for direction. So here, we're not quite done just yet. I'm readjusting it to where it'll be on him better, and going to put it back over his hindquarters again. Now this time it's a little bit shorter in the back, so I'm hoping that it won't drag behind him and get between his legs as much, so that he won't be able to step on it. Now it is a little bit lower in the front, but we're just going to see how it goes in this. It's just kind of watching to see as things go and making sure that we're not just letting things happen. So here I ask him to continue walking with that drop cloth on, and I decide we're going to pick up to work again. So I ask for the trot. There's that ask right there. Just a little bit of aid with that whip. I'm saying, hey, let's go forward. Let's go forward. Keep going, buddy. Don't stop. So I want him to be doing these things on my own terms. Now here this drop cloth slides, and I realize that it's at a point to where it could get under his foot again, and I decide that this is when we're going to stop. I had snapped my fingers earlier, and he had gotten a little startled, and so as I'm walking up, I realized that he had gotten scared, and I started to do a little bit more, but intentionally, so that I could watch his reaction. So here I start adjusting it again, just to try and get him a little bit more uncomfortable. That's literally what this all is to get him more comfortable with the uncomfortable. Here I try to pull him forward by his halter, and we get a few steps, but I realize that he's being a little standoffish, and so I asked him to move backwards off of the drop cloth There we go. I adjust it so it won't be dragging on the ground, but it will be an unusual weight on his neck. And then I go to pull again, and he is not budging. I tried and I gave up and went to grab the lead rope. And once I hooked that lead rope up, he's like, "Oh, you mean we're walking?" So here I am starting to wrap up this session with Copper and asking him to back up a little bit right here, just because it's a basic thing that he needs to work on because he struggles a little bit in that area. Give him little pets. Here he decides he doesn't want to walk forward and he's a little bit stiff to give. So I ask him just a little harder, and there he goes. And that is it for our lesson today.